Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm so excited to be doing my second Facebook Live session with all of you. It's a gorgeous day today. Happy October. I can't believe it is officially fall. And you know what that means, cooler weather. There's actually people running outside. In case you guys don't live here in Denver, our office right across the street from the Bladium Recreation Center. That's actually where I take my daughter Haley. So, all right. Okay, we're back. So, all right, sorry the connection is weak. So, anyways, today is one of my favorite topics. It is officially October. You know what that means. That means Halloween candy. I love M&Ms. Actually, the peanut M&Ms are one of my favorites. My husband loves Almond Joys, and there's just gonna be chocolate everywhere. But the problem is that there is actually candy in the office now. None of us ever really wait until Halloween. It's just because the grocery stores go crazy with the sale of, they have literally an entire aisle dedicated to Halloween candy. And guess what? Everybody in the office buys buckets of this. So this live video is dedicated to those of you who feel you have a sugar addiction. So I hope you brought a pen and paper. I want you to take notes. This is going to be a really important video and will be posted for you. So, all right. So this is actually a conversation that I had with a patient the other day. Guess what? So sugar addiction, addiction is a pretty strong word. Most of us think, okay, addiction is such a bad thing. You can be addicted to drugs like heroin, cocaine. You can be addicted to alcohol, and believe it or not, you can be addicted to sugar and food. In fact, they activate the same pathways in your brain that cause the addiction. So guess what? It's actually not you that's addicted, it's your body. So let me explain a little bit about what that means. So believe it or not, I truly believe that, sugar is becoming the new #1 addiction. Because the problem is that, heroin, cocaine, you have to, go to a dark alley, that's what I'm guessing, to get it. You have to go to a bar to get alcohol. You can go to a restaurant, but, you literally have to go to a liquor store. You have to be 21. You have to show your ID, and you can get, alcohol if you're addicted to it. Guess what? You can go to the grocery store and get sugar. You could probably get it in your own office. You could get it in your house. You can get it off the street. You can get it everywhere. And that is the problem. So what happens, so how do we become addicted to sugar in the first place? So when you eat sugar, it releases a very important brain hormone called dopamine that gets released into your reward center in your brain. It's having a party. It actually says, wow, I am on the sugar high. I'm so excited. I just feel like I can just do things, and I'm just my personality's out, and it actually is, pretty exciting. Is this kind of just sort of like a wake up with sugar. Now, in the beginning, if you have enough sugar, it gives you that happy feeling, that reward feeling. But what happens is that over time, if you keep eating sugar chronically, you're just pounding away at that reward center. What happens is that there's these receptors in your brain that get down-regulated. What that means is that there are less receptors for the dopamine hormone to connect to help you feel that reward, happy feeling. So crap, guess what? You actually need to eat more sugar to get the same satisfaction that you had originally. So now you're screwed, right? Because now you're in this vicious cycle where crap, if I don't eat sugar, I'm going to get the shakes, I'm going to get the withdrawals. I don't even have the high, but then when I do eat sugar, I actually need to eat more of it to get the same happy feeling that I was looking for. But then if I don't, then I'm going to get the shakes and withdrawals. And now you know it has become a serious problem. Again, just like drugs and alcohol. Now I'm going to take it one step further. This is something for you to pay attention to. You may not have an alcohol problem. That's great. You may not have a drug problem. That's awesome. What about your family? Did your dad have an alcohol problem? Did you have a grandpa that you don't even know have a drug problem? Did you used to smoke and now you are no longer a smoker? These are the characteristics that are risk factors for you becoming a sugar addiction. In fact, you don't even have to be overweight to be addicted to sugar. So listen up. I'm going to tell you some tips and strategies on how to get yourself out of this vicious cycles, because this is a serious problem. And if you don't know already, sugar is the new fat. Sugar is what is causing our country to be overweight. In fact, I don't know if you paid attention to the latest news. For kids, the guidelines show that kids really only need less than 25 grams of sugar per day. That's really only 6 teaspoons. And you, all of us, know that our Starbucks drink, we have 2 tastes, and that's probably more than 6 teaspoons of sugar. So, all right, so this is the lesson that I teach all of my patients on how to break the sugar addiction. Now, I want you to think about, now everybody has, perhaps in their life had that ex in their lives, that relationship that they just knew, gosh, they fell in love fast, things were going well, and then fell out really fast and it became toxic. Yeah, I personally have had those relationships, those experiences, and they become an ex. You just realize that, whoa, they just really did not make me be a happy person. I was just sort of kind of taking it in, and just it was truly a toxic relationship, and thank goodness I broke out of it. But what happens if your ex keeps calling your name? So if if they call, they want to be friends, then you pick up the phone thinking, oh, maybe they want to apologize, maybe they want to get back together, and then you go invite them out to coffee, and and then you're just kind of playing around, and then boom, again, same bad cycle. You realize that this ex was bad news in the first place. This is the same relationship you have with sugar. Now, how do you get rid of the addiction? Now, some people will say you need a detox. Technically, yes, a detox is probably going to be quite a good, effective way to get rid of sugar, but it's going to be painful. And so if you are all in and you want to do it, I recommend at least 10 days, and that's going to be helpful for you. But I don't recommend it for everybody because it can be painful. And guess what? When you detox, you can't cheat. You can't just say, I'm going to cut out sugar and then maybe like Saturday I have 1 piece. It doesn't work like that. You already reintroduced that cycle, and your brain has memory, and it's just going to pick up the same vicious cycle. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it nice and clean. But I have an alternative strategy on how to break that addiction. Okay, so first of all, you have to think that your sugar is your ex. So what that means, what does that mean? You didn't give up on love. Okay, so I don't want you to think, oh, I just have to cut sugar for the rest of my life. I can't ever have it anymore. It's just bad. And technically, it can be toxic to your body. But again, just because you gave up on the relationship, you didn't give up on love. We need to clean up your relationship with sugar. And then once you have cleaned yourself up, made yourself a stronger person, then you have the control over sugar, and then you get to decide how it is involved in your life. Okay, so number 1, if sugar is your ex, don't keep them in your house. but you say, well, Dr. Tran, my kids love candy, and, my husband, loves candy, and, I really want to bake cookies, on Saturdays when the kids are, playing in the playground. It's like, no. So if you and your husband and your kids, would you invite your ex into your house? Isn't that creepy? I mean, that's the same way as your relationship with sugar. I mean, if you are cutting it out, but you're not cutting it out with your kids, it's going to be calling your name. And as much as you tell yourself, oh no, I'm over sugar, I can bake cookies and not eat. Nope. It is a toxic relationship. You need to get it out of the house, okay? So number one, so no nighttime snacking, okay? So you shouldn't even have it in your house to be in that. And you shouldn't be driving out to go get it out of your house, okay? And then just tell all of your kids and your husband, if they want something, then they can eat it outside of the house, outside of your sight, okay? Now this is the cleanse process, okay? This is not going to be forever, but the reality is that if you have a hard time keeping sugar out of the house, just equate it to having your ex visit in your house. It is creepy. It is bad. And you won't get over that relationship if that person is constantly in your house. Okay? Number 2, be a sugar cop. So what does that mean? Okay, so congratulations, you decided to cut out sugar, but somewhere you read, well, instead of soda, I'm going to be drinking diet soda. That's artificial sweetener. So let me go back to the relationship example. So what that means is that, have you ever tried to get back into dating when you weren't ready? That's what you're doing with artificial sweetener. So think about it. Artificial. It's not the right person. You keep dating around, but they're artificial. They're sweet. They sort of kind of like, you have fun in the beginning, but they don't have the deep characteristics that are involved in that long-term companion. That's the same thing that you're doing. And guess what? It's actually worse than dating your exes, because it's just the artificial sweetener actually makes you hungrier, and then it makes you look for more sugar. So instead of dating just one person, you're dating another person, and then you put yourself in a bad cycle. The other thing is you want to look for, when I say a sugar cop, you kind of want to look a little bit deeper, because these people can hide. So, they look really nice up front, but if you date them a little bit longer, you'll realize, whoa, this is exactly the toxic relationship I'm talking about. Do you ever have those girlfriends or those guy friends who just seem to date the same kind of person, but just different body? It's the same thing. You didn't learn anything. So you have to be a sugar cop. So look for artificial sweeteners. You have to look at the labels, okay? For example, some of the waters, the flavor waters actually have artificial sweeteners. Any type of low-fat product has high sugar. I don't know if any of you realize that, but you want to look at the label. Again, these things look really nice up front, but once you start to date them a little bit longer, then you realize, oh, this is the same toxicity that I don't need. So pay attention to the artificial sweetener. Get it out of your water, your gum, again, your yogurt. There's so many different products out there that have hidden sugars, so don't take it just at face value. Really look deeper, okay? And the third piece is that you actually have to know what you need to stop going to what you don't need. So let me talk about that again. So I'm going to repeat that. So you have to know what you need so that you don't go to what you don't need. So I'm talking about the stress eaters, the boredom eaters, all of the times where you want to eat something sweet, but you're not actually hungry. But the reality is if you take one step back and realize, wow, I'm stressed and I need help. And once you actually decide, okay, what does that help mean? And I guarantee you chocolate is not going to bail you out. It may dampen that for an hour or two, but guess what? That problem is going to be there over and over until you overcome it. So the third piece is something that we really dive in deep here in our office. I know that these strategies are not overnight quick fixes, because guess what? I'm not a quick fix kind of a doctor. I don't run programs for you to just realize you're going to be 20 pounds down by tomorrow. My job is, yes, to get you to 20 pounds in a rapid pace, but while I'm doing that, I'm helping you up here. And so when you realize the addiction pathway, I'm cleaning up your reward center. But then how do we do that? By looking at our environment, looking at our triggers. So now if you identify what you need, look at those triggers. Again, if you had a favorite song with your ex, guess what? Stop playing it. If you had a favorite shirt that he or she always wore, throw it out. Okay? So then once you identify those triggers, you start to eliminate it. Then you start to kind of figure out, okay, I'm stressed. I need to go out for a walk. Or I need to call up a girlfriend. You start to find other ways other than food to get you out of trouble. And guess what? That's how you're going to snap this cycle. So, all right, so this was a fun topic. I'm probably going to dive a little bit more since this is the month of October, so I'll probably expand on that next week, but this is just kind of like a nice, superficial introduction to my tips and strategies on how to get out of your sugar addiction. Don't forget to please post your comments and questions below. I would love to answer anything that I can help you out with. This is going to be a challenging time of the year, and I'm excited to get you guys through the holidays and ready for the new year. So I will see you again next week.